Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again, and nothing too special for my video today. Just wanted to let you know that I think Synthesis Flashback is pretty worth playing. So currently my character, the Assassin Ice Nova, on Hardcore Solo Self-Found is level 94.5, something like number 8 on the ladder and potential to push for top 5, top 3, something like that if I stay alive and keep going. And this league, this little event has been quite a lot of fun, I think, and it's definitely worth a shot if you've been thinking about it, but have been kind of holding off just because, well, a new league starts in about 3 weeks. The actual event here, the Synthesis Flashback event, will be on for at least another 2 weeks, and that's plenty of time to jump in and make a character and experience the wackiness yourself. Because every single one of these maps just feels so thick when there's 3 extra sort of league mechanics floating about. It can be as simple as Bloodlines Nemesis and anything else, just Perandus. And that's not even that insane, but every single pack having a Bloodline mod and every single rare popping off a Nemesis thing makes the just situation feel so much more intense. But then you can really high roll some of your maps to get things like Beyond, which is on like half the maps, and Beyond by itself just changes the map so drastically and makes it so much more enjoyable. But then combine Beyond with something like a Harbinger or a Perandus, and all of a sudden you are playing what feels like a different game to the current Synthesis League, and I think it's quite worth jumping into if you really have been looking for a bit of something to do, because this type of playstyle right now, it's just me running around trying to find the biggest, fattest Vile Ice Novas one can imagine, because there's just so much thick content out there, and Vile Ice Nova and Ice Nova itself has just been an absolute blast in this, and I've been playing it on a fairly, risky setting, the solo self-found hardcore setting. So everything I do seems to matter a lot more against these sorts of enemies, and it does up the ante quite a bit. And that in particular is also worth looking into if you want to change up your playstyle just a bit from the usual softcore or something like that, or just trade leagues. Doing your own solo self-found and hardcore especially is definitely upping the ante and making it quite a bit different to what you usually would do. Now, I wouldn't actually really recommend hardcore though, unless you think you're pretty well versed in the game at the moment, because even me, who's been playing for a long time, can get pretty surprised by a lot of what these things are throwing at you at the same time. And then, as well as that, I don't think you get maximum amount of fun having to hold off on certain maps or on certain combinations, and maybe even Synthesis and Nexus type of bosses, because it's just not worth doing a lot of that shit. But when you're on softcore, it just doesn't matter. You can throw yourself at it and have quite a bit more fun. So with this actual event, I've been treating Synthesis, or the entire Synthesis League, as kind of an afterthought. If you don't make it the main focus of your game, it's really not that big of an issue anymore, and it's just another little bit of a league mechanic throughout this entire big flashback clusterfuck. So you just jump into the memory every now and again, check if it's a good layout. If it's a nice layout, go run it, get a lot of extra monsters like this one, and it just feels good to do. It can be a very nice bonus map to some maps that weren't very good that you were running. If you jump in and it's a really shitty layout, like a Cells or one of the indoor maps, just jump out, don't do it, don't feel bad about skipping it, it's all good, it doesn't matter anyway. And then occasionally look into your Nexus and see if there's something worth travel to it, get some fat rewards. That's all there is to it. You don't have to really interact with too many nodes, you don't have to build too many bridges, you don't have to craft any crappy items. Just treat it as a nice little side piece of content, and then it becomes what it is, just some additional loot and some additional monster killing. While the main core game right now feels really good, with plenty of additional masters, you get lots of extra bonus fun stuff to interact with the beasts floating about, with Alva and doing temples, with the Beyond attached to those, get some delve happening. It feels pretty full at the moment game-wise, and this may also be one of your last opportunities to enjoy some good hot spell action, because we'll probably be slaves to attack and melee-based builds next patch when all the new cool shit comes out for that. Chances are you're not going to be looking at spells quite the same way as you are at the moment. So it's pretty worth jumping in, I think, and having a last little hurrah, interacting with Synthesis and Nexus for the last time, which is in a much better place than when it first started at the start of the league, and then getting a huge bunch of extra tasty monsters and content in the form of flashback stuff. Who knows, you may even win some microtransactions, you may even go push yourself for a demigods, because some of the easier ascendancies out there, or easier ascendancies to get top 10 on, can still very well be top 10able if you put a bit of time into it. So that's all for the video, guys. I'm still alive. Hopefully got some more alive content for you in the next few days. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.